All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is December 10th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Let's take a look at the markets today. Let's see how I made 5K. All right, so on the SPY, got a, I'm going to call it a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 10-minute uptrend on the close on the SPY. 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Now, for those of you out there, I would put an anchored VWAP right here on this candle before the igniting move. All right, and I would look for price to stay above that. Breaking below that, I think there's a chance we come tumbling far down. All right, like down to the all-time high anchored VWAP, which is at 675. And then we've got the breakup candle low, which happened on the 21st. And we've got that is at 678.89. Okay, so if we get below this, break a rubber band candle on that candle before the breakout, right there, I would think we're probably coming down here if we break the rubber band candle regarding this. Well, it was the candle just before the FOMC announcement. That's where I like to stick my anchored VWAP right there. All right, so 2-hour uptrend, 10-minute, still holding an uptrend. Looking like it's going to get pinched off here. Daily chart. Higher low, higher high, no, outside day. Lower low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. So what was the high today? Was 688.97. The all-time high is 689.70. Okay, so we're about a buck away. Okay, don't know why they couldn't hit it. All right, but I don't know. They just couldn't hit it. They got that close and they couldn't hit the all-time high. Again, disturbing just as it is a few days ago when we got the sword candle. Okay, couldn't hit the all-time high on that day. We got up as high as 688.39. Okay, I'm just saying, watch out. Okay, this is bullish. We're still bullish. We still show a triple top. I'm just saying, kind of disturbing unless we're going to hit it tomorrow morning. Okay, I'm kind of hoping we hit a new all-time high overnight or at least this morning. If that doesn't happen, keep an eye on that anchored VWAP that it's just before the breakout candle. Okay, I would look for that anchored VWAP right here just before 2 o'clock. I would look for anchored VWAP on that. And I would want to get below that anchored VWAP right there. Okay, no more than a rubber band candle. So there's SPY on the, that's an hourly chart. Daily chart, like I said, still bullish. Okay, still bullish, still in an uptrend up here. On the weekly chart, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, you can see here's the April low. Okay, I can move this out of the way. Okay, so here's April low, and we're still bullish, still in an uptrend up here at the top of quadrant 4. All right, let's take a look at monthly chart, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ, let's start with 10-minute chart. Okay, 10-minute, it's got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 2-hour, it's getting pinched off now, but 2-hour, we've got 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily chart, got a daily uptrend coming into the close. Outside day, just like SPY, higher high, lower low, closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're still in an uptrend. We're still at the top of quadrant 4. This is bullish and still in an uptrend right there on the daily chart. Weekly chart, still bullish and in an uptrend. Monthly chart, still bullish, still in an uptrend. I mean, FOMC, I don't know what other news you're looking for unless you're waiting for AVGO. But honestly, that's the end of the rate cuts for the end of the year. That should have got us a new all-time high. Maybe it's going to be a late delivery. Maybe coming sometime tomorrow. We'll see what happens, all right? Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. We'll see what happens. There's QQQ, monthly, still in an uptrend. Back to the daily chart, okay? Let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM, that's a sight for sore eyes right there. Love it. New all-time high on IWM. That gives me hope for T2122 and T2123. Okay, so new all-time high, dropped a mic. Doesn't get any better than this. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Okay. Yeah, I know they're going to have a dollar going to unwind here with the Japanese rate. They're going to do a rate cut, I think. All right, so there's IWM. Let's take a look at FNGU. Okay, not the candle we wanted. We were kind of looking for a green candle, and we got a red candle today. All right, so we got a lower low. This could be a dark cloud over our new all-time highs, seeing this as red. All right, we've got a lower low, and the high is 28.98. The high here is 30. Okay, so lower high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap over the 17 EMA and over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still red candle today. Not liking that. That does not look good for the future for SPY or QQQ. Seeing that. Okay, so there's FNGU on the daily chart. We got a higher high, so we're still bullish and still in an uptrend. All I'm saying is I would keep an eye on this anchored VWAP coming right here. This is the breakup candle low. I would not want to break the rubber band candle regarding the breakup candle low right here on the 21st. All right? Get below that. I think we're coming all the way down here to test major support again. Get below that, and I think everything's going to fall apart, and we're going to begin a multi-year or multi-month consolidation period where we just move sideways in a really wide range. We'll see what happens. So there's FNGU on the daily chart. Okay, weekly chart. All right, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Monthly chart, still bullish, still in an uptrend. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Start off on the daily. Nice candle, still in a downtrend. Okay, still in a downtrend. They got to take out the high. Outside day, higher high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. At the top, let me show you the April low. Here's the April low. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in a dysfunctional downtrend. In other words, it's a downtrend that's not moving down. It's actually moving up. Or you could call it a regular downtrend that's having a violent pullback. All right, so almost ready to take out that high. That would be a new all-time high, as well as negating the downtrend. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow in on the daily chart. Again, bullish all the way up here at the top of quadrant 4. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver got a new all-time high, dropped the mic. Doesn't get any better than that. Okay, silver, gold. Gold, kind of a late bloomer. Used to be the leader, now it's a late bloomer. Outside day. Higher high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Again, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. This is still bullish. It's up here at the top of quadrant 4. That's still bullish and still in an uptrend. All right, that's gold. Let's take a look at UNG. Okay, here's UNG for today. Did not make a lower low yet. Okay, so we're still in an uptrend even though we have this violent pullback. Today's candle is a lower high and a lower low, closing underneath a bearish trap, underneath the 17. We're bearish because we're in the lower third, all right, but we're in an uptrend right now, okay? So we'll see if they can, if the bulls are going to come rescue the price before they take out this low right here, okay? So that's UNG, that's in an uptrend, that's not moving up ever since the sword candle, and it's bearish because it's down here in the top of quadrant 1 right there. Okay, let's take a look at USO. USO is getting a pinch. You can see we got a top line and a bottom line, and take that line out of there. We don't need that. Okay, so today's candle, we're going to zoom in here on the pinch. Okay, we've got an outside day. You can see we've got a higher high and a lower low. We closed inside of a bearish trap under the 17 EMA, under the 2022 high anchored VWAP. So that's a post-COVID high right there. And that's the anchored VWAP that comes off that post-COVID high. So we're still neutral and still in a downtrend there on USO. Take a look at our technicals, T2101. All right, so we moved up today and the market breadth dipped lower. Okay, not what I was looking forward to. Okay, so not at all. Wanted market breadth to move up. All right, but that didn't happen. All right, so that's T2101 on the 15-minute chart. Wondering if we're going to double bottom. Last time we were down here, we reversed. So we'll see what happens if we're coming back down here again. Let's take a look at T2122. All right, for the 10th, you can see we spent the day chopping around between the buyer's chop zone and the buy zone. And we made a brief appearance at the end of the day in the overbought zone. Okay, so clearly not overbought yet. So still got some higher lows and some higher highs. That's a welcoming sight right there. Higher lows and higher highs. I like it. They're finishing near the high of the day at the end of the day. Just near the high of the day at the end of the day. That looks promising for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. T2123. All right, and it's a 15-minute chart. It's in an uptrend because it's making. There's a high. It's a high, higher highs. Okay, we're up over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. Okay, and if we look at this with the quad lines on it, this would be all the way back here would be the all-time high. Right there is our all-time high. Okay, right underneath the label. And you can see we're back here at the midpoint. So we're definitely not in the lower third. All right, that's neutral. And that's fantastic. That's exactly what we want. All right, now we want to see more consolidation. Remember I said yesterday, didn't like the performance of price action through here. Not yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Didn't like that performance because we weren't making higher highs as compared to this. Again, I said we're bull flagging, so I guess I can't complain. Well, look at the breakout that we're getting for me having a little bit of patience. All right, got a nice little breakout. Now, need to see price hold the higher highs again. All right, and continue to do this. Hold the higher highs, load up on spinach and red meat, make another high. Okay, consolidate, load up on spinach and red meat, make another high. That's what we're looking for to happen. Okay, so we need this not to give it all up and come back to the 200 SMA. Need to see them load up, rest, load up on spinach, red meat, and make another high. Okay, so a little bit of rest, a little bit of spinach, red meat, up. All right, T2123, 15-minute chart. Let's take a look at the 3-bar chart. We've got the high right here. We made a higher high. That's a welcoming sight. The 3-bar chart is no longer in a downtrend. We're now in an uptrend. We're still under the flat 200 SMA. Not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. You already know. I'm still bullish on this market. Price action This is the April low. That is the all-time high right there. We are showing an inverted head and shoulders. Okay. Like to see price rally back up to those highs. Maybe we can get the right arm to extend where the left arm left off up here and go and challenge those highs one more time. We'll see what happens, all right? Got a nice bounce. We're no longer in the lower, we're still in the upper third up here. Okay, remember this is the April lows, quadrant 1, 2, 3. This is the upper third right over this neckline, which is this bright green candle. So we're bullish and in an uptrend. I haven't been able to say that for a long time. Okay, for all of October and all of November and the first part of December, I have not been able to say we're bullish and in an uptrend for all that time. Okay, so that's T2123 3 bar. So I like that phrase, bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at FNGU. This is the stinker. We need performance from the stinker. All right, and this is all-time high anchored VWAP. We're still on top of it. That's a welcoming sight. We're chopping around back and forth on the 15-minute 200 SMA. I don't like that we spent most of the day underneath it. But after the FOMC statement, we ran up and we couldn't hold the higher ground up here. Little disturbing to say the least, okay? I don't mind the pullback, but they need to recover this sometime tomorrow morning or sometime overnight. So there's FNGU. And don't forget, we got AVGO earnings, Broadcom, tomorrow night. So maybe Broadcom will rescue the FNGU. We'll see. All right. So there's the 15-minute. Okay. Price underneath the 200. Again, not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. You already know I'm still bullish on the market. Price is up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's bullish. That's good. We're still in the quad lines. How come the quad line? Oh, yeah, because this is a 15-minute chart. Okay, so we're still bullish. Look at the bull flag. Still consolidating. Okay, getting long in the tooth. Doesn't matter. I like that. As long as they don't break down and they can hold these highs, I still have hope for them. All right, so that's FNGU. Just one more day, and then maybe AVGO could rescue them tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. All right, that's it for me for today. Okay, don't forget, AVGO comes out tomorrow evening, all right, after the close. And I'm looking for continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. That's what I want to see. A continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. All right, that's what I'll be looking for in the morning. Thanks, Gene W. Thanks, CP. Thank you, CP in Texas. All right, thank you, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow. I hope you made money. Let me just say, on the first part of the day, if you stayed out of the first part of the day on SPY, if you stayed out of the first part of the day, you had some money to be made at the end with that 10-minute uptrend. All right? You had the 10-minute uptrend. On top of the 10-minute uptrend, you had the PPO right here rising. We see the PPO rising up over. It's all over the 9 EMA. So you had the PPO rising, and you had your 10-minute uptrend up here. Okay, so things were lined up here. We had this uptrend. That was a tradable event. You saw me trading it like a nut. All right, just trying to squeak everything I could out of it, that uptrend. All right, even down to the last minute, but we had a 3-candle pullback right there. Okay, traders, we're looking for follow through tomorrow. Okay, looking for follow through tomorrow. We want to see some new all-time highs. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Follow through on this 10-minute uptrend. All right, so I'll be looking for a green candle, no spinning tops, no dojis, no candles with more wick than body and tail combined. Okay, no red candles. Okay, want a nice green candle, and I'm looking for a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. All right, we'll see what happens. I'll see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, everybody.